It's harvest day for the carrots. I've been looking forward to this and dreading it at the same time. Not only is it a ton of work, but there's no guarantee we'll even make any money from all the effort. So let's get busy and see if we can make any money at all from the carrots. In the last episode, I went over all the options with carrot harvesters, and we settled on getting the DeWolf GBC that has a hopper for temporary storage and moves a little quicker at 6 miles per hour. We're bringing this back on the New Holland, and what I want to do here is harvest the carrots as quickly as possible so we pay as little as possible in the rental fees. We haven't had a lot of long-term rentals in the series, but when you rent equipment, you pay an initial fee and pay for the first hour up front, then pay for every additional hour you actually use the equipment. This harvester is fairly expensive, and it's those extra hours that'll add up as big fees. We'll try to do the headland ourselves, or at least most of it, and turn the rest of the field over to a worker, which will also be expensive, because it'll take at least a couple hours to harvest this field, and that's a lot of continuous paid labor. Now, you might be saying we could save the money and do it all ourselves, which is true, but once we get going more on the fields, you'll see some extra challenges with the carrots. I'll finish up some more rows of the headlands, and we'll fill up our first double trailer of carrots. Okay, you can see how fast the carrots fill the trailers, so we'll be doing a ton of carting and delivering to keep everything moving. That's one reason why we need an AI worker. The worker can hopefully continue on while we go unload, get some work done, and finish the field as quickly as possible. Let's try to put these into our silo. Not accepted. These silos are more for grain, but that's okay. Luckily, the farmer's market is offering the best price right now, so we'll unload here and see pretty much what a full double trailer of carrots sells for. A little over $2,200. That may not seem like a lot, but we'll be selling several loads of carrots, so hopefully we'll see a good profit. We could deliver our carrots to the train station to hold them until the price is at its very best, but that station is on the other side of the map, and really wouldn't work out. So we're somewhat forced to sell the carrots directly off the field. Expense-wise, between the harvester and planting equipment we rented earlier, we're in for about $7,500 in rental fees. So we'll need 3 more double trailer loads before we start seeing a profit. And that's not including the fees we'll rack up in the process for additional hours of rental and the worker. What I'm describing here will be a little bit of a race between the mounting costs of the farming and the profit. Let's continue on and see how we're doing in a little bit. And I'll also go over some of the other considerations you need to see with carrot harvesting. All right, that's 3 double trailers of carrots, and you can start to see this other harvesting phenomenon I talked about. The harvester is picking up carrots, but we don't see any carrots on the field. What we can see visually as carrots doesn't represent exactly where the carrots are in the rows. Most of the other crops in the game are not like that, at least not to this extent. The actual rows are very close together, which is another reason why I'm using an AI worker. They're able to know exactly which rows have and have not been harvested. And it would be hard for me if I was driving, even using the GPS, to know exactly where I have or have not missed carrots. I've tried it before and found it a little tricky. So you can see why hiring the worker is kinda needed. Between wanting to keep the harvester moving between unloads to keep down rental fees and wanting to ensure I don't miss any carrots, paying for a worker just feels like the best move. Alright, it started raining. I'm not sure whether carrots as a root crop incur the same yield penalty as grain crops when harvesting, but I'm not taking any chances. We'll take what we have to the market, disconnect the harvester to make sure we don't run up those hourly fees for usage, and go deliver what we have. This might be a nice little shortcut through here. The shortcut was a disaster due to some signage, and we don't have any helper mods like Super Strength, but we got it sorted, all on our own, and delivered the vegetables. The rain looks like it'll stop around 3 p.m., so we'll just be patient and wait for it to stop. All right, the rain is over, so we'll continue on. It looks like we have about half the field done, and the money is going up. Let's take a look at the costs and everything. So we have made a little over $12,000 on the crop, paid about $2,700 in worker wages, and have racked up nearly $7,300 in rental fees. That's $10,000 in costs and $12,000 in revenue. If we add in the approximate $2,500 in the planter rental, we're not even quite breaking even yet, but we're getting close. The only thing we can really do is keep harvesting and finish up the rest of the field. This is going to be interesting. Okay, I've taken over to try to finish the field and get some last little bits. We've delivered several more loads, racked up more fees, and the account has gone up, but not massively. Let's collect these last carrots from the harvester, detach the thing to make sure we don't pay, deliver the final load to the market, and see exactly where we stand. Okay. $18,600 in carrot revenue. That's not bad, considering we didn't have a convenient place to store them until the market price was at its best. It wasn't terrible, but it could have been better. About $4,000 in worker wages, and a nearly soul-crushing $9,400 in rental fees, leaving a total harvesting cost of $13,400. Add in the $2,500 for the planter rental, and we're in the neighborhood of $16,000 to work the carrots. That means we only made about $2,600. I'm pretty sure we would have made more if we just planted grass and turned it into silage. It would have been less work too. I don't regret the carrots though, because I learned some things. We should probably buy and own the equipment outright and do carrots as more of a regular crop rather than a one-off. Have a field with no obstructions around the edges so the worker and harvester can turn around easily, and maybe even a bigger field. Before we lose all our daylight, we'll water the goats. These views and the overall lighting here at sunset is absolutely amazing. It's these little characteristics in the game that really make it feel great. The goats are taken care of, and I believe we can move into December. Even though it's winter, it's going to be an exciting month where we sell our canola oil. It's hitting its peak, and all our flour from the small grain mill, and see what they bring in. I'm also going to do something to improve the farm, and the timing couldn't be better. The New Holland is almost out of fuel, and the harvester is getting low, so I'm going to build a small fuel depot. I'd like to build it on this end, but there's too much collision with the building, and it would just stick out too far. This other side, though, looks a lot better. We can get it pretty close to the workshop, and I don't see this corner getting much in our way. There, 5,300, let's take a look. Nice. We still need to buy diesel for it, so I don't know how much to get. We can always buy more, so let's start small at 1,000 liters and see how far that takes us. We are still saving up money for that big piece of land, so I'm trying to be a little conservative. All right, the New Holland is first. Let's get it filled. This is a big tractor, so it's taking a lot of diesel. Yeah, that drank down over 600 liters. We'll throw in 2,000 more liters into our petrol station, and that should hold us for quite a while. Between the workshop for repairs and this fueling depot, the only reason we'll have to drive back over to the store area is when we have to actually buy or rent something. So this will be highly convenient. Now I want to do a few more improvements around the workshop area, and we did just drop something like 9,000 on the fueling endeavor. So we'll recoup that loss and more with a trailer load of logs. In a way, I need to go ahead and get the rest of these trees cut and sold, so I can clear this part of the field and plant another stand of lodgepole pines. We won't be doing any planting right now, but we can start moving in that direction, and we can certainly use the money. Okay, nicely stacked, and we'll take them to the paper mill for the best price. And yes, we need to use our beacons for safety. $25,800. I love how the trees can just give you that cash on demand. Next, it's canola time, and we'll use the New Holland on the trailer, that should be good, and grab our trusty John Deere again for loading. We'll be selling all the canola from our oil mill, and even though the oil mill is still not at its full potential till we get more fields and more product, The oil we have should give us a very nice revenue boost toward our goal to get that $320,000 field. In the next episode, we've also got flour to sell and more new changes for the farm. See you in the next one.